So Caitlin Clark went on the show with David Letterman. David Letterman, I think it was. I think that's what it was. But yeah, so today she went on that show. We've seen clips in the past, and there were some viral clips that were being talked about on it. And this was probably the most viral clip of them all. Caitlin Clark talking about how she scored 22 points in 2 minutes against a men's practice team. And here is the clip, lads.
Speaking of videoing practices, there's one iconic scrimmage.
There is.
Yeah.
But nobody knows if it actually happened because
it
nobody
happened.
actually saw it.
No, you know what happened.
Yes.
People saw it. Caitlin, people saw it.
So we have a practice team that's just all guys. They have to be students at the university. They basically just volunteer their time, and I think we were down 15. So we make a couple threes. We cut it to 10, maybe. I don't even know.
Now, when you say we make a couple of threes, was it you or was everybody making threes?
It was me, but the points went to the Iowa Hawkeyes. So I think I had 22 points in 2 minutes was the moral of the story.
I'm sorry. 22 points in 2 minutes.
So obviously this was the clip that went viral. And yeah, obviously she's going to keep talking a little bit more about it, just how the reaction was.
Because we had a high school girls basketball team there that day. So we had a little audience, and we were up in our practice gym. And they were jumping out of their chairs, going crazy. Usually I never react when something like I hit a big shot, or I do, but never in a shocked way. After my fifth three in a row in a minute, I was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. I was like,
this was, again, crazy, and I didn't realize she's still talking. I apologize.
Running around, and we ended up winning, and our boy practice players didn't hear the end of it. They still don't. I still love to bring it up to them. We talk a lot of crap, so.
So yeah, let's take a look at that practice. Being you didn't think the practice was going to happen. So Caitlin Clark pulls up from 27-ish feet, way beyond the NBA three-point line. And then they hit the free throws. Caitlin Clark runs in, pulls from about 33-ish feet, hits the shot. They go to the free throw line again. They miss. Caitlin Clark runs down the floor, pulls from, again, 33-ish feet, makes the shot. They shoot free throws again. And Caitlin runs down and shoots from the same spot again through a double team off one leg, and it goes in. And then last possession, Caitlin Clark shoots a running one-leg shot to ice it. Yeah, I don't know if they won the game or not, but yeah, we've seen that clip. And that is one of the craziest things I think we will ever see in basketball. I was about to say, I don't actually know what is being... I was about to say, I don't even know what I did just there because I'm not at my computer right now, so it's hard to, work around. I'm in my parents' house. I'll be back tomorrow. I was meant to be back tonight, but I'm going back tomorrow. So you guys can't see it on full screen, unfortunately. Not only that, a couple of days later, she did this. She did this. This is one of the most absurd games of basketball you will ever see. And regardless of what she did early in that game, they're playing against the number 5 ranked Michigan team. They have Iowa have 6 players. They're down 14 going into the fourth. And it is absurd what Caitlin Clark does in this game. It's absolutely absurd. Look, they don't come back to win this game, but this fourth quarter is stupid. The shots that Caitlin hits in this fourth, especially down the stretch. There's no other player in basketball that shoots as consistently from as far away as Caitlin Clark. This was the first time I really saw Caitlin Clark. I remember back in the day, back when this was happening, I was still streaming. I was still doing a lot of 2K stuff. I was still living with my parents, actually. And I remember showing this the next day to, on my stream. I'm like, this was unbelievable. And, she's literally shooting from mid-logo. Not even corner edge of the logo. From the middle of the logo. I've never seen anything like it. She's being quadruple teamed. And she's just running around in circles shooting step backs. 4 or 3 point play. You could argue this was... It looks like she almost got fouled on that play. That was a few days later against one of the best teams in the nation with nobody else. And it is just scary, some of the things Caitlin Clark has done on the basketball court. And the fact, obviously, look, it's starting to go viral again now because of this interview. There were a lot of stuff that are going viral, but Caitlin mentioned it, and, you know, obviously, look, that footage has not been a secret. Caitlin Clark being like, no one has the footage. She knew people had the footage. That footage has not been secret. This is not the first time I've seen the footage. And my sources are normally Twitter. Like, I'm not someone with sources. I'm not someone with sources in this space. With my sources normally being Twitter, the fact that I've seen the footage means it is public knowledge. And it was mentioned, and straight away, everything is just sharing that viral footage. And it is funny because I saw, actually, I think this was before Paige got the ACL injury, Steward talking about how Paige, this is when Paige was still the top dog, talking about how Paige, you know, how she was going to, the way women's women's basketball was going to be led by Paige. And then whoever it was she was being interviewed by, like it was her, and obviously being interviewed by two male like basketball people, and they were like, that girl from Iowa though, that girl from Iowa. Like, Super's trying to hype up Paige, and they're just like, and this is before 2023, this is before all of this stuff, they're like, you know, that girl from Iowa shoots from half court. And like, you've heard it with, like, even when Kevin Durant's been talking about Caitlin Clark back in 2022, all of that stuff, like, we forget about the Caitlin Clark hype. Like, Caitlin Clark has been mocked number one, was mocked number one in the 2024 WNBA draft from about halfway through her sophomore year. Like, she was mocked one ahead of Paige Bueckers. She would have mocked three probably after that first year because it can't Brink, but she was mocked one about halfway through her sophomore year. And it all was organic. She was the hometown player, and not only that, like, she got people to watch Iowa. There are so many articles being written. You can look back on articles now of, in 2021, 2022, people making the point that Caitlin Clark is going to be the face of women's basketball, that Caitlin Clark might be the player to launch women's basketball in the stratosphere. People have been saying that as early as her freshman year. Even when it was all about Paige this, Paige that, there were people still talking about Caitlin Clark back then. And it is funny seeing all this stuff now, seeing the virality. And it is still funny seeing the anti-Caitlin Clark people still saying that Caitlin Clark, none of her hype is organic. And like, I saw a long comment earlier, some people were saying the only reason that Caitlin Clark had more viewers against South Carolina was because it was at prime time, whereas this year's final was on at a bad time. They were at the same time. And that it was 10 million extra South Carolina fans. South Carolina were in it again this year. And then they also continued to go on and were like, you know, people just wanted to watch her lose. There are not people hate watching every single game. So yeah, it's mad. It is just mad, this whole thing. It's just crazy. And just seeing those viral clips, like, there's nobody on the planet that can do what Caitlin Clark can do, men or women. There is not one other player in women's basketball that you can look at and say nobody else on the planet can do what they do. There is nobody on the planet that can do what Caitlin Clark does. And yes, maybe, obviously, if you put Curry into a WNBA game, he might be able to do that. But obviously, like, respective to their peers, there is nobody that can do what Caitlin Clark does. Is that saying Caitlin Clark is the greatest ever, or Caitlin Clark's the best player in the world? At this point in time, I believe no. I believe there's a chance that by the end of this season, that narrative changes, and yeah, we can make that argument. But I think saying that she's better than Fee, saying she's better than AJ right now, you can make the prediction she'll be better this season, but I don't think so. I think saying she's better right now is crazy based on what we've seen. But just looking at these viral things, there's a reason why Caitlin Clark's as popular as she is. And no, it's not because of Angel Reese. It's because what other player in basketball down 13 points with 3 minutes to go can do that? And then the next possession, do this. Or a couple of possessions later, do this. And then, was it not another long one? Whatever. Or do what she did in this game. There are very few players that can. So anyway, yeah, that is the video. Just another day of madness. Another day of madness in the CC, which is the Caitlin, or the CCC, which is the Caitlin Clark Circus at this stage. But anyway, yeah, I just realized using those 3 letters consecutively is what those absolute horrible people refer to a fan base as, is one of the worst things you can refer to someone as, realistically. But yeah, anyway, I'll see you guys.